Welcome to episode 6 of the Roughly Related to Podcasting. Fuck, I just fucked that up. The Roughly Related to Reselling Podcast. Shit, I just fucked that up twice. So, you get the idea. I'm your host, Perry Phillips, the pothead picker. And what is happening right now? This is my phone. So, anyway, welcome to another episode. Sorry, I was going to do the podcast earlier today at I don't know, 1 o'clock. Or no, earlier than that. I was going to do it 10:30, 11. So get it done, bang it out. But you know how the reselling game goes. And today I woke up and I just had one of those, you get those reseller intuitions where you just are like, I'm going to get a marketplace come up today. And so I had messaged, there was a lady having a house clean out sale tomorrow and it's kind of far. And so I'd have to get up crazy early to go there. So I had messaged this lady and I was like, and I hate to be this person asking to go early, but occasionally I'll do it depending on the sale, depending on, not every yard sale, but something like that where it's a house clean out and they're trying to move a bunch of shit. So I didn't hear anything back from her. I had asked if they had video games or vintage t-shirts. And so I dropped my daughter off this morning, coming back, get back with my other kid, and we're hanging out, playing, we do a little bit of a light breakfast. And then I get a message from the lady. This is a week's gone by. And she's like, I'll be at this place till noon. This is at 10:04. And this place is 48 minutes away. So I was like, all right. So I threw my kid in the car. She had a nap coming. So I was like, all right, she'll sleep in the car. Perfect. She slept. Everything worked out. We got there. And there's another fucking reseller there. Man, I hate to see it. So I ask her, I'm like, hi, I had asked about video games. And this guy was just waiting to tell me that, I found the video games. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to be mad. He was there first. I was a ways away, whatever. But this guy was just a fucking douche. So first I see he's going through Star Trek toys. And most of the time, I'll tell you, in my experience, Star Trek toys aren't worth a ton. But the accessories and shit, always look those up, because some of those I've sold the phasers and shit, not the little the action figures, but the cool secondary toys and shit, the bigger those things. I've sold those for some good money. So he's digging through this pile. There's none of that stuff. I don't know if that's what he's looking for. Probably. But he takes a bunch of them out and puts them on the floor. So he's and then he tells me oh, that's my pile over there, pointing to this stuff in the corner. So I'm like, okay. And I'm assuming he's getting these Star Trek figures too. So I just keep looking. There's stuffed animals. I got some Pokemon shit. I was looking for Five Nights at Freddy's because it was kind of close to that age range. I found one, but it was not the Funko one. It wasn't very, it was one of the cheap looking ones. I forget who makes them. But I left that one. Got a couple of Disney, there's a Halloween Mickey and Minnie plush set, so I bought that just because I can sell that quickly with Halloween coming up. Some Monster High stuff still in the box. I was hoping for more of that. There's a big box of Monster High stuff, but it wasn't in great condition. I almost bought it, but then once she gave me my total, I put that back to kind of make room for other stuff because I didn't want to spend too much. So that guy had got video games and comics. So I don't know what he got for comics, but the video games he got, I then heard him the boxes were, most of them were missing the games. So I thought that was pretty funny. And so then this fucking guy, didn't even finish about him. So he doesn't pick up the Star Trek stuff. So I'm just sitting there. I didn't want to step on anybody's toes and put the stuff away if he was putting it in his pile. But I kept stepping over it. The lady kept stepping over it. And so I'm like, is this fucking guy just... So finally I just picked him up. I was going to say something to him, but I had my kid with me. It's hard to go through a hoarder house when you have a kid strapped to you, one. And so two, I'm like, I'm I'm not gonna fucking get in an argument with this guy. This lady's letting me here early. This guy's kind of a douchebag, and so this fucking guy then, she's like, oh, so I was like, oh, I had also asked if he had any t-shirts. And so she's like, yeah, there's some like all kind of in piles over there and over there. And so I hear this guy like kind of whisper like under his breath, like tell this lady like, oh, make sure you check them for the stitch at the bottom. If they're single stitch, they can be worth some money. I'm like, this fucking asshole. So I was like, almost immediately after that, I was just like, so what'd you get for video games? Some of those old ones can be pretty valuable. And he was like, oh, no, I didn't get anything good. But I was just like, this fucking piece of shit. I couldn't believe that he did that. So I was like, I was going to do something and say something, but it was like, whatever. Like, this lady's going to, kick me out if I start some shit. So I'm just like, whatever. This guy's a fucking... So I just kind of left it at that. And so I'm like looking. I'm not finding any t-shirts. I'm like, fuck, this is like kind of a long trip for wasted shit. And it's like not finding anything. Finally, I like find like a Marvin the Martian t-shirt. And so I'm like, oh, do you have anything like more like this? And she pulls out like a big trash bag of t-shirts. And a lot of them were like newer, but there was a lot of like Disney stuff. So I grabbed a lot, like everything vintage. Just went through, grabbed it all. There was like a cool Flintstones one. So I'm going to post it on my Instagram. But it was... Yeah, it was a packed house. The lady was telling me that she had rented out her house, and some lady who was living there renting from her, like, just started hoarding shit. And so she evicted her and just kept all the stuff. And so she's, started to sell it. So I got a pretty good deal. Paid just about $100 for everything. So... It's a good start to the weekend. It's supposed to be another fucking bullshit rainy weekend. Oh yeah, and then finally the dude, when he was like going to pay, he was like trying to fucking get one over on the lady with his math, and she was like not having it. And then he just kept trying to like get a lower price. And she was pretty fair. He got like a bunch of like vintage comic books, so who knows what he got in there. I'm fucking pissed about that. And then the video games were decent. So, it is what it is. Yeah, man. I wish I was closer. I almost went to Savers today, too. I was like, I did one of those things where I was like, I might go to Savers today. Because I dropped my kid off, and I was like, I don't want to, I was planning on going to this sale tomorrow. So I didn't want to be like, have my kid be stuck in the car 2 mornings in a row. So I was like, let's just limit it to one. And I should have just done it because then we would have been closer. It would have been I would have been like 10 minutes away. And then I could have just, boom, shot over there, shot home, and been done with it. If the lady had told me earlier, which sucked. But anyway, what else has been new? So that's what today. That was just today. I recently went to... They do like a big, I don't know if I've talked about it, where I had to bring a wagon. But yeah, it's this giant yard sale, bunch of houses. And again, it was supposed to rain that weekend. So people weren't really sure if they were setting up. So I drove by there Friday. It was Saturday and Sunday, but I drove by there Friday just to see like if anybody was open. And there were a couple people open, so I stopped and like, didn't really find anything. And then the next day was like the big day, but there was only like a handful of houses open. So I went there last because I was like, they have like a Facebook group, and on it people were saying that there was only like one house set up. So I'm like, I'll go other sales first. So I ended up going to this guy's sale. He had advertised that he had like sports memorabilia and like hats, t-shirts, that type of stuff. So I got some like bootleg Super Bowl t-shirts. I got some vintage ones, and then I got a bunch of shit. like a bunch of cool shit, and I fucked up though. So I'll tell you how I fucked up like in a minute. So I'm trying to think of what else I got. I got a bunch of shit like vintage hats, tons of CDs. So I already made my money back on the CDs, like just on one lot of CDs alone. So I did well at that sale. The guy was like from my hometown, so I was shooting the shit with him. I was there for a while because it was shitty out. I'm like, there's no other sales. Like that other sale, people are still waiting for the rain to hold up. So I was like, I'll just take my time. And I'm talking, and like there was some sports cards on the table, but it just looked like junk, like the junk baseball stuff. So I didn't even bother looking at it. And this other guy shows up, and he's like one of the neighbors or something, and he was an older guy who's cool. I'm shooting the shit with him, and he asked the guy, he's like, oh, how much are these cards? And I see him going through them, and as he like is going through them, I see a Tom Brady, like the Tom Brady rookie card. I'm pretty sure it was that. It could have been like a reproduction one, who knows. I'm like 80 to 90% positive that it was the Tom Brady rookie card. And so he buys them. They were like $2 a piece. So I'm like, fuck, I should have looked at those cards. And I'm sitting there, and like the guy starts talking to me because the other guy's like in the house looking for shit for me. And he's like, the fuck did he say? He's like, oh yeah. I was like, are cards worth anything? I'm like, and I, me being a fucking scumbag, I'm just like during the pandemic, they were, which is true, at the height of the pandemic, they were like worth a lot more. I was like, they've kind of dropped a lot now, this, that, and the other. He's like, oh, there's some Tom Brady cards in there. Are those worth anything? And I should have been like, they're so, but like, what do you got? I'll offer you some money. And I should have just offered to buy it from him. But I wasn't that quick on my toes, and like, because you think about it afterwards, you like run the scenarios by, and you're just like, with what you should have done, could have done. But so I've like trying to convince myself, I'm like, maybe it wasn't the rookie card, because it's like a couple $1,000 card. It's like, it's very expensive. I would have held on to it for like, a long time. I've had a few that have like just escaped me. That was like the third one that it's just like I've come close. So I think I'll get one eventually. I've been looking for a Charizard. I mean, everybody wants one of the first edition Charizards because I had one when I was a kid and fucking lost it. I think I told that story here. I don't know. That's why I need to get this shit fucking... never mind. I'm not going to even... Anyway. I started to say earlier, too, that I wanted to continue to say is, like, reseller intuition. Like, I don't know. Do you ever wake up and, like, you're just like, oh, I know I'm going to hit something on Facebook today. Or, like, I'm going to, somebody's going to call me. Like, you just kind of wake up and you get this feeling like, oh, I'm going to get some shit today. Yeah. Because I had that feeling today. I was like, it feels like a Facebook Marketplace score day. And then this lady messages me, and it was from Facebook Marketplace. It's not like a Marketplace pickup, but, it was from Facebook Marketplace. So I don't know. It happens. Like, there's days I wake up and I don't, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to get shit done, this, that, and the other. But there's some days that you wake up and you're just like, I'm going to have to go buy some shit today. And it's always a good thing. I mean, it's never not a good thing. I had fun digging. And I bring my daughter, I strapped her, she's 10 months, and I strap her to me. Like, so she's like, she likes looking at all the shit. She's always grabbing at shit. But I can't really dig as well as I want to. So I always kind of have to go into it knowing I can't be as like hyper aggressive as I usually want to be. Cause shit's no joke trying to fucking get inventory. There's a lot of other resellers, and I mean, there's not like a ton. I'm sure there is. Everybody's does it, but like to do it successfully, it's a lot of work, and you never know like what you're gonna have to do from day to day, what you're gonna have to deal with if you're doing it as a business. If you're just doing it like bullshitting on the side, you're making just some money. But like I treat my shit like a business, so it's I have to fucking mail some money out. I keep forgetting because they don't like I never even got a receipt. Like, they just sent me a thing in the mail that was like, you have to send in like $500 for your LLC. And they never sent me like a receipt or anything like that. So I don't even remember it until they send me that sheet. But I should probably have to keep setting a reminder to call them. I'll probably call them after I fucking do this. I'll probably forget, honestly, by the time I'm done talking about fucking nonsense. But anyway, so then I left that dude's sale after losing out on the Tom Brady. I still got a bunch of shit that like I've made money on, you know what I mean? But yeah, that would have been fucking awesome. Man. So then I go and I'm like, let me go swing by the sale, see what's going on. And at this time there's like a few more houses set up. I didn't really find much, but as I was going by this one house, I could see there was like a stack of old board games, and I don't really look for board games for myself. I have a friend that sells them. And so I was like, oh, let me look and see what they got. And I could see from the road the Goonies board game. And I'm like, I've never seen that before. Goonies is one of my favorite movies. And so like this place had a lot of people there, so I just like walked up straight to the table. But then I saw some like wrestling figures. So I went to go grab those, and this guy was like, oh, those are mine. And they were just like under, like they weren't with, you know what I mean? It wasn't like somebody's pile. Like I know when people make a pile, like I don't think that guy actually, I think he just wanted to get them and he like forgot to grab them. Because they were just like sitting there like they had been put out by the person who was having the sale. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to fucking argue with this guy. He had his kid with him. Like once you have kids, you argue with less people, hopefully, if you are growing as a person. So you don't want to be like that person who's arguing in front of your kids in public. So anyway, so then I like go around to the board games and I just like ask them how much for the games. They're like $2 a piece. So I got that, and I got like this Flintstones like from Coleco, like an old like Flintstones baby play set or something like that. So it's pretty cool. I just got to clean it up a little bit. But I paid like $3 for the two of them. And the Goonies game goes for good money. I don't think there's one listed on eBay, so I should probably get it up there soon. It's not 100% complete, but it was close enough that you can still play the game. So I'm hoping that I can still get a portion of what it's worth and do pretty well. So that was a huge score. That one's not going to my buddy. Sorry, dude. But yeah, so it ended up being a good weekend after like, you know, not having a ton of great weekends. And then Sunday, so I went to a few yard sales that Sunday, and there was like, they were supposed to have like more people set up, but they weren't. So I got a few things on Sunday, so it wasn't actually that great. But like every weekend it's been raining, and then so Sunday is the day that people do it. Like so I went to one like last Sunday, and it was in like one of those little boxes type neighborhoods where everything looks the same. And I got there a little early. People were setting up in their garages, but I found so many like toys, like more modern toys, video games. I got a really good deal on some video games. I got a copy of the Donkey Kong for Nintendo 64 with a bunch of other games. So I'm going to sell the games. And I actually found one game that I didn't think was worth a ton, but it's like a $25 game. It's like Tetris for 64. So I'm going to package that or sell that individually and then bundle the other ones. So I actually did okay and found, you know, a Super Nintendo Classic, which I didn't realize those go for like, you know, about $90 or something like that with the two controllers. It might be a little inflated, but I can't remember. I have to look it up. So yeah, I did well that weekend. There was like a bunch of houses. It was pretty cool. And then what else? Let me see. I'm going to my little notes. Oh, and then that same day, so like the weather kind of cleared up, and so people on the weekends people put free shit. That's when like I see a majority of the free posts, you know, free stuff. It's because people will post it on the weekend. So I try to look at those, check those things more than usual on the weekends. And so this lady had posted like that they had a bunch of toys and a bunch of shit for free. So I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to go. It was like 15 minutes away. So I get there, and there's like, when I say like morbidly obese, like these people were big, big. And I only say that because like it affected them getting like merchandise, because I was way faster than they were, even though they had been there. So like I scooped up a bunch of stuff in the time it took them to like maneuver through the stuff, because it was taking them so long. So it was actually like a hindrance to them if they were doing a business. But their whole car was filled, so they must have just been driving around like picking up free shit all day. I don't know how they had room for any of the toys and stuff, but I got some Legos, some Gujitsu, so stuff that like I could just lot up and sell pretty quickly. So I was pretty happy with all that free stuff. But man, yeah, resellers. I know there's a lot of fat resellers. I'm not like the skinniest reseller in the world, but yeah, if you're gonna get that fat, man, people are gonna beat you to the merchandise every time. It's just, I'm not even joking. It was quick. Like I am joking, but it was quick. I was not. It was quick, but I'm not that quick, and I was able to, just scoop up like a bunch of stuff, and you can call me greedy or whatever, but their car was already filled with fucking shit that I'm sure was free. So whatever. And I do it to fucking pay for my kids and shit. So anyway, yeah, moral of the story is, if you're going to be a reseller and be fat, be prepared to be beat by less fat people that are still fat, but not quite as fat. So that was just yeah. And I did get some good shit. So that was, pretty cool. Got some yeah, I already said that. I'm not gonna fucking say that shit again. It's football season. My fantasy teams are doing pretty well. 2-1 for both leagues. I lost both week ones, and then I won the last 2 weeks by close games. So I'm not doing like great, because points wise, if I'm only just beating teams by a couple points, it's not great. So I made a couple moves. If you do fantasy football, like, and you're decent at it, it's just you have to make nonstop changes. Even if you're winning, like if you're winning, you have to still be like, all right, where can I get stronger? So then a lot of times you make fucking stupid mistakes because you're overthinking shit. But I don't know. This year I'm doing all right. I'm not trying to, I don't know if there's a playoff run in the future, but we'll see. It's hard managing two teams. I know there's people that manage a shitload, so I don't, I'm not bitching, but it just gets complicated because you have some players that are, on the same team. If you try to, unless you get the same exact players for every team, which is damn near impossible. But yeah, you're gonna have to root against yourself a few times, and so it's the middle of football season, and that means there's a lot of crazy pharmaceutical commercials. I saw one the other day for cats. It was like a whole, like they do, like they do the side effects and all that shit, like, and then at the end it was like, ask your veterinarian if whatever feline is right for your cat. And I was, yeah, that's the crazy shit. And then there was like a Travis Kelce one where he's telling you there's like a Pfizer commercial, he's telling you to get the COVID shot for. I thought that was pretty wild too. So it's just with the crazy fucking commercials, crazy fucking pharmaceutical commercials left and right. I feel like that's all they fucking show on these channels. I don't want to really get into, I think I talked about the Lady Gaga one, but it's just the commercials, man. They're so insane. It's not even like what they're selling you, even if it wasn't like crazy shit that they're selling you, but it's just the actors, the way, the music, everything about them are insane. And then they're like the side effects. Holy shit. I think I said this before, but when I was a kid and I would hear them like list the side effects, I was like, do I have that? You know what I mean? Like I couldn't comprehend what am I trying to say? Like I couldn't comprehend that like what side effects were. I just thought that like, this was shit that happens to people, that like the side effects just happen to you. And so, yeah, I remember hearing that very young. Very fucked up. Anyway, I'll get off that subject. I just thought it was weird that they had a pharmaceutical commercial for your cat. That's craziest shit I've seen in a long time. I don't know if does anybody use eBay's AI description. I think it's I don't know if it gets better as you use it. I don't know how AI works. But it just like I tried it. I did like the sample just to see what it looks like, and it just all it does is tell you a description of what the item is, like a detailed description. But like what I use in my description is to tell you like the flaws, like what condition it's in, and so it doesn't make sense to me that it would have this AI description, this long fucking description of what the item is. Most of the time people are going to know what the item is. So it just doesn't make sense to have that because you can't, every item's different. If it's like, if you're selling brand new shit that I can get, I get it. But like, if you're selling used shit, most of the time people on eBay, oh man, like fucking. So one kid stopped waking up. My youngest stopped waking up in the middle of the night. Now my oldest has been waking up. My wife let her in the bed one night. And if you have kids, you know how that goes. And so I feel like it's been since then, she wakes up and she doesn't ask to come in the bed, but she doesn't wake up like upset or anything. Well, she like wakes up screaming sometimes. So I don't know if she like wakes up from a bad dream, but she'll be like, I want to play, or I want to do this. I want to go. One night she said, I want to go to the party. Like she woke up in the middle of the night upset, being like, I want to go to the party. And she'll be yelling down the stairs. So it's like she thinks we're downstairs. So I think she's having dreams and waking up in the middle of the night. So I've been trying to like explain to her like, what the difference between night and day is. But she woke up so early this morning. So sorry, that whole story was just to tell you that's why I was yawning. If you cared. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, so the AI description. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it would streamline anything for me. Maybe down the road, like if it just starts like recognizing how you put it in, you know what I mean? Like if you could do like AI and it's like, all right, after a couple times, it's like, all right, it'll know by the pictures too. Like then I could see that being a benefit. But and if you're AI and you're listening, I think you're great. Really cool. I'm a very, very good listener. So yeah, just don't take over my life. Anyway, all right. There's a few sales this weekend, but again, it's supposed to rain. There's a community sale. I don't know. I saw the signs today, so I would think they would take this because they didn't advertise it. So I would think it's probably rain or shine. So we'll see. It's been kind of nice because when it's raining, like there's not nearly as many people out yard sailing. There's still the hardcore people. But yeah, when it's raining out, there's not too many people out and about looking for deals. So it's a lot less, I usually take my time when it's raining because I'm like, I don't need to, be running, trying to trample people in the rain. It's just easier to chill. Take it easy on those days. And then I have my daughter again tomorrow. Not that I have my daughter with me, but I'll have my daughter with me because my wife is working this weekend. Yeah. I don't know what type of music do you listen to when you're pulling up to a yard sale. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I love I love listening to DaBaby. You just pull up to a yard sale with DaBaby on, and you'll get. Trust me, do this one day. Listen to DaBaby while you're driving to yard sales, and I guarantee you'll find like good shit. I don't know what it is. I haven't been listening to DaBaby on yard sale days, and I think I need to do that tomorrow because it just gets you in the mode. I don't know why. It's not the best hip hop in the world, but it makes me smile and and when I just pull up to a yard sale, I'm not like bumping it, like I'm not like, blasting as I pull up. I usually turn it down as I'm driving down the street, but yeah, and that's when I don't have my kids in the car. I'm not gonna listen to that with my kids in the car. I'm not that much of a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, I just recently started redoing my eBay area in the house. So we have like two parts to our basement. So like the part further back where like the laundry and shit is, it's all open. So as soon as we moved in, we converted that to the eBay area, and it's never been organized. So we finally like switched. I didn't like, because when I first set it up, I didn't know what I was doing, and now I kind of know where things need to be. So my wife came in and kind of like pointed shit out and was like, "Hey, remove this here." So we moved, just like swap some stuff. I still gotta take some stuff out and put it in, and then, I have a bunch of like empty bins that I'm not utilizing. So I'm starting to get it all put away and cleaned up, looking good. I wish I had taken a before picture, but I still have like a ton to go. I still have I just did one big section. Like, it was the biggest section that needed to get done. So the next day my wife's off, probably move some more stuff, and get shit like more put away. So picked up a little TV for video games, but I can't. It needs to get like switched on input, and there was no remote with it. So I bought a universal remote, and I can't get it to pair to this fucking TV. So I don't know if that's like a thing. The TV works fine. I would imagine like that it would just be able to pair with a universal remote. And I checked to make sure that it's the right codes and stuff, and that it would work for it, and it says it should work for it. And of course it doesn't. And I have like a bunch of consoles just sitting here that I need to test, like old school ones, because my last TV you could test on it and the new one you can't. And so I'm just kind of like shit out of luck until I get a TV that'll work. And so I found a small one because I didn't want a huge one, and I found a small one, and of course it doesn't fucking work. Well, it works, but of course I can't get the remote to work with it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then I get frustrated and I just like leave it there, because I'm like, I don't even want to look at it. So I just leave it for a few, and then I finally go back. I'm excited for like Halloween sales. It's usually when like it starts picking up for the holidays. I hope people spend more money this year. I feel like people spent money last year. I did really well, but I don't know. My store's been picking up. I think I've been consistent enough. I've been doing well, because what happens is I'll have no money, so like, or not no money, but like no eBay money. It won't be coming in, and I'll start like hustling, and then I make a certain amount, and I'm like, I can take it easy, and so I've just kind of kept my foot on the gas and trying to be consistent, and just like listing. It's hard when you're tired, but like I just try to get it done. And like if I'm super tired, I'll just start it and do as much as I can, and then check it the next morning and get it done. Not like I'm less tired the next morning because my fucking kids fucking up in the middle of the night. I just had thought of something else I wanted to talk about. Can't remember. I just took out the ACs. We have like these old shitty ACs in the house, and eventually we're gonna get fucking central air. It's just this house needs a lot of shit, so you gotta prioritize what you need. And right now it's not too hot, so we don't necessarily need central air. But it would be so nice to just have this whole house one temperature, or like even different zones. Even have like some AC in like where I work, like in the basement. That'd be awesome. 'Cause it gets hot in the summer and cold, and not cold in the winter, but no, it doesn't get cold in there because like there's the furnaces right there. Anyway, I'm fucking babbling about the dimensions and shit of my house. I found a Master Shredder, so I don't know if I was talking about the fact that I was looking for all the new Ninja Turtles toys, just for like myself personally. Just I don't know why. I just liked them. The movie was awesome. I watched it on mushrooms, uh, which I watched the first half with my kid, sober, and then we didn't finish it for whatever reason. We had friends in town, so we didn't finish it. So then that night we we took some mushrooms, and I after we partied for a little bit, not party, but like just drank some beers and shit. And I didn't like, I wish I had, but I only did like 3. They were really good, but I did like 3 stems and caps, and we had fun fucking shooting the shit. And then the like when doing like the part where we were just like not really coming down, but we were still pretty fucked up. So I was like, oh, let's watch the rest of that movie. So we watched the rest of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. It was fucking awesome on mushrooms. I want to do it again. But I thought it was a great movie. I was really entertained by it as a turtle fan. And I don't know. I like the new toys, so I grabbed them all. But finally found Master Splinter. Couldn't find them anywhere. Found them on Target.com. They finally had like a delivery available for it. And these motherfuckers sent them in a box that was too small. So the whole card is bent. So all the other ones are like perfect condition, and then this one's just fucking black eye on my fucking Mutant Mayhem collection. So I'm trying to keep my eyes out to see if there's another one, because it's bothering me. And I'm not usually like big on condition. I mean, like if I'm collecting shit like that, like all my video games, I usually keep the shitty condition ones. Like if shit I can't get writing or they're discolored, you know what I mean? I'll keep that copy. Like if I have 2 copies of the same game, the better looking copy will get sold, and I'll keep the duplicate, because I just wanted to play. Like any game that I have is a game that I have an interest in playing. So most of the games are, I mean, some of them are in good condition. I did come up on a bunch of Pokemon games, like 4 different Nintendo DS games, which is crazy. I got like Diamond, Soul Silver. I wish the Soul Silver was complete. Like it's complete, but it's not. It doesn't have like the extra accessory thing there. What else? Soul Silver, Diamond. I don't remember. It was 4. There was 1 yard till I got there, and this is when we had our friends in town. And so one came with me. It was like a town-wide yard sale. And normally I don't like those ones, but this one was kind of like in a rural area, and I figured, it wouldn't be as bad. So it really was like every sale we went to, like we were the only ones for like a while. So it wasn't that busy. I was surprised. It took us a while to find a sale because we went out so early. But it took us a while to finally find a sale that was open. And I walked up, and the lady was like, she had, she just had her stuff out, and I was like, oh, do you have any like video games? And she's like, oh, only old ones. She said it like disappointed, and she pointed me to a box, and there was 4 Nintendo DS games. I should have just taken all 4. She wanted $5 each, but I knew the other one wasn't worth a ton. It was like a Lego game. And so the other 3 were all the Pokemon games. It was like Pokemon Soul Silver, not the Diamond. It was it Platinum? I don't know. It was Diamond and Platinum, I think. So, and then there was a 4th. I can't remember what the 4th was, but yeah, those were all just chilling there, all in excellent condition, like no writing. I checked them all. They all had the games in them. And so yeah, I was pumped about that. And then it just like got better from there. I found like some vintage hats, some vintage Teletubby stuff. Sometimes that stuff does well. The stuff was all right, decent little flip. But yeah, I should make some money on everything I found that day. And it was a good town-wide yard sale. I found some other video games, I think, later. I can't remember. That day was a blur the whole weekend. Our friends were in town. But yeah, now we're getting ready for Halloween. This will come out. I don't even know when the fuck this will come out. I did. So this, I mean, obviously this will be out in, whatever. But I started the process of a logo. It'll be cool to look at after, I guess. You know what I mean? After I've like got everything set up. So I found an artist on Fiverr who's done. It's a different artist than I've worked with before, but I've used Fiverr before, and it actually is pretty legit. You get some decent stuff. I thought about doing AI, which would have kept the cost down a little bit, but I was like, I just want somebody to I want somebody to do it, really well. So I thought of a cool concept for the logo. I think it's going to be dope. I think it'll be eye-catching. And yeah, so once I get the logo, I'll probably release the first episode, and because it's like 2 weeks from now, which will be like, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks later from this. Well, I don't know. My math is fucking horrible. I don't know how I'm in a business where I have to do math constantly. Like today, I think I paid the lady like an extra $10 because she had told me originally 30 for one thing, and then it became 40. So then when I went to take it away, I took it away as 30, not thinking that she had said 40. So I should have gotten $10 back, but it is what it is. Probably could have got a couple more things thrown in, but yeah. So we'll see how this weekend goes. I know I'm all over the place. I'm only at 40 minutes. Man, I was going to write out a few more topics today too, but I just didn't have time. I was going to sit down and do some shit, and then the day just fucking got away from me, as it usually does. My kid started gymnastics. She had done dance before, but she wasn't like too crazy about it. This kid needs to start doing like sports. I don't think I think she's too young for sports right now, because she would lose interest. She wouldn't probably go the whole time, but I think by spring she could probably start doing soccer. She can already dribble and run with the ball. She can fucking kick and fire that shit. She can hit with a baseball bat. I never played baseball, so I don't know how she got that. Like my wife, I don't think my wife played softball or anything like that, but she just knows how to swing the fucking shit. So yeah, she's just very athletic. Like even when she runs, she's just she's quick. So I think she'll be definitely more into sports. But right now we just try shit out. You know what I mean? There's no real pressure on her to fucking pick one thing. I'm just trying to see what she likes, see what she wants to do. I don't want to have her do shit every day. But right now it's cool because it gets her. She goes to school one day. She goes to gymnastics. We do some home learning and shit. Try to make sure I keep her on her toes. So we've been learning how to draw letters, all that shit. Reading Dora the fucking Explorer, which man, that show is so bad. Jesus, as far as kids show goes, there's kids shows that are tolerable, but fucking Dora, man, it's the same episode every fucking time. It's just a different name for each thing. I mean, that's probably all kids shows, and I probably shouldn't pay attention as much as I do. Trying to think of what else. Oh man, I'm probably forgetting some shit. Oh, I just finished selling. So I had picked up Viewmasters. I don't know if you're above a certain age, you know what Viewmasters are. It's the things that you put in a little binocular looking thing, and then you flick the fucking thing, and there's little pictures. It's dope as shit. Had it as a kid. Think they're super cool. So somebody had posted a big lot of them for like $100, and so I had seen, like, I looked at the picture and I looked a few of them up, and like I looked up the ones I thought could be worth some money, and the first one I looked up was Kiss, and so it was like, there was one selling for like between $100 to $150, and that was opened. So I'm like, oh, I can get more than that. But I ended up, I did all right. Obviously, I did well. I sold all the Kiss ones. I sold 4 of them. There ended up being multiples. I fucked that story up. So anyway, I go to pick them up, and I like start looking through stuff because in the picture that she had a bunch of them laid out, but she had put the duplicates in like the side little, like in another box on the side, and so, like I didn't even think that there might be duplicates. So I get all of them, and I start going through them. I'm thinking there's only one Kiss album. You know what I mean? I've done the math out. I'm like, I could sell this and make my money and blah 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 blah. And so I start going through them, and I realize like, oh shit, there's doubles. And so there was 4 of these Kiss Viewmasters, all sealed. So I sold each one for $100+, and then I sold a couple other ones. So I've already made like close to $500, maybe more than $500. Yeah, because I sold 4 of them. Like one was 115, one was like 110, another one was like 115, and then another one was 110. So like all that range, and then I sold like 3 or 4 other ones for between $20 and $60, or 20 and 40. Sorry. So did really well on those, and I still have a bunch left to list, and there's a bunch left listed. So I think if I just drop the price on a couple of them, I'll sell them, and yeah, hopefully make some money. I've had a couple like weird eBay things. I had somebody open a return, and they said a disc was scratched and that it didn't work. It was like a Wii game, and it was a Wii game that I think there was like very light scratches, like maybe like 1 or 2. And I test all the disc games that I get because, for that reason. If they're perfect condition, I don't really need to test it. But if they're even a couple scratches, I always test it, for a little bit just to make sure it works. And so I knew that this person was full of shit. So I always just send back like, it was tested prior for games. I always say it was tested prior to listing, and then once again right before I sent it out. And then that usually like dissuades them. So they had opened the return, but that like I saw. Then I sent them this message and was like, "Hey, sorry about this. I tested it prior to listing, and then once again, blah blah blah." And so I never heard anything back. And then it was like over a month, and I get like they opened a case with eBay, and so like it was like they've asked eBay to step in, but they never sent anything back. So I'm like sitting here waiting for the return. So I just reached out to eBay and was like, "Hey, this person did this, blah 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 blah," and they closed it right away in my favor. So people always talk shit about eBay. Like they do suck for some things, but most of the time, as long as you know what the fuck you're doing, like they'll side with you. It's just sometimes they make it a pain in the ass. Like, yeah, I had a buddy who just had to jump through hoops for some bullshit, and they'll do it, but it's just like you just have to spend so much time doing it, and it's like why? So, but they do usually help you out. So 9 times out of 10, like there's been a couple. There was like one time that I sold something, and I didn't put in the listing that this thing didn't come with a thing that I didn't put in the listing. You know what I mean? So I just put like the one part of this thing and not the other. And this person was like, left me a negative because I was like, yeah, I didn't put that in the listing because it wasn't included. Like it's not, you know what I mean? It was like, you could see everything that was in the pictures. And then in my listing, it's like, what you see is what you get. And so they left me a negative, and I reached out to eBay, and they're like, well, that was their selling experience, and blah, blah, blah. So they could hide it, like hide what the person said. So it's blank, but it just says a negative. So it is what it is. But I have had them remove negatives before for shit that was clearly some bullshit. So, I guess it works out at some point. All right, I got like 10 more minutes here. I've got to be able to come up with 10 more minutes of stuff to talk about on this podcast. Let me see. Let me go through my soul. So I talked about that. Okay. All right. Let's see what's sold here recently. Let's go through that. So, oh yeah, I had somebody today that was like, "Are you going to ship this today?" And I was like, "I don't have them to ship it until Monday." And like, I'm pretty sure that they bought it and then they didn't pay like right away. It was like one of those situations where like they waited to pay, and so I didn't even respond to them because I was gonna ship it today anyway. But like now I don't want to because it feels like I'm doing it for them. But I was gonna do it. I go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, unless I have a ton of shit on like Friday night into Saturday. But I feel like if I do everything, like get everything printed up or whatever, by Saturday morning, that it helps my store. I don't know. That might be just me. Like I feel like it's better to have your store cleared of like the shipped stuff. If you know what I mean. So what else did I sell here? Sold a vintage Patriots sweatshirt. That's already been paid for. I got that in a big bundle of shit from this dude. I got a Digimon DS game. It's $25. Shout out. Repeat buyer. It's always great to have repeat buyers. I have a bunch because I take care of my shit. I ship quickly. Yeah. I sold an AMT model kit. $17. Punisher PS2 game with disc and manual only. $35. Sesame Street figures. I got those for free. And those sold for $10. Black Sabbath cassette. That was in that big bundle of like CDs and stuff I got from Homeboy last week. So I've already made my money back on that stuff, but it's another $19 on that. I sold some old micro racers, some Hot Wheels shit. They're like bigger than micro machines, but so I sold a couple of those. Those are also paid for $14. Some Paw Patrol figures that were free as well, $18. Wacky Wobbler, I got that from that dude. It's a what's his name? Rat Fink. Wacky Wobbler, I got that from the dude. Those from my hometown. So 45 on that, $44.99 if we're being exact. Vintage Umbro t-shirt, $13. Here's where you know my character right here. I sold something for 99 cents and I shipped it out immediately. It was an auction. I thought it would go for more, but whatever. Sometimes you have to ship something for $1 and basically ship it for free, paying somebody to take it. I sold a Lego sealed. It's like the stuff inside was sealed and had a bunch of writing on the box. And so sold that for $20. Sold a vintage Jurassic Park dinosaur. That sold like instantly. So I have another one of those, but I need to clean it up. So I need to sell that. Sold a empty box from that. I got a bunch of, that same weekend. Fuck, I forgot to talk about this. So the weekend that my friends were in town and I got all that good shit on Saturday. On Sunday, I was supposed to go meet this guy. And so like on Facebook Marketplace, if you don't get to something right away, like a good deal, it's usually fucking gone. And so this dude had like a bunch of it was like a Game Boy Advance SP and a Nintendo DS and then a bunch of games for each. And there's a couple Pokemon games in there. So this is where I got the Pokemon Diamond because I'd gotten the box like complete without the game a while back for free, a couple weeks ago for free. And then I found the cartridge from this dude's lot. So I got like, a bunch of games. So you could tell that there's value. But the dude, I hit him up on like Thursday and I was like, I could come right now. And the guy was like, I'll meet you on Sunday. And so I was like, all right, fucking Sunday's like a long time to wait. So at that point I was like, there's no way, you know what I mean? Somebody's going to offer him more money and he's just going to, flake on me. And so come Sunday, the dude was like, yeah, I'll meet you. And so he wanted me to meet him at a park. And I was like, it was kind of a sketchy park. I've been to it. And So I'm like, oh, fuck. So I brought a knife. I was like, if anything goes down, I'm going to fucking stab this guy in the throat. And so as I'm sitting there, I'm like waiting for somebody to pull up. And I see this fucking goofy guy and his girlfriend walking from like across the park. And I'm like, oh, this is this fucking guy. That's why he wanted me to meet him here. It's because it was a walking distance to his house. So he brought the stuff over. And he was like, you know, here you go, blah, blah, blah. So got all this shit from him. I was shocked. I was shocked that he actually still had the stuff and he sold it to me. So that was pretty dope. And then, shit, what else? I got more shit that day. Oh, and then I went to another sale. So there's another yard sale. So right before that, there was a sale. It was like the Sunday. So that town-wide yard sale, I always check the Sunday only sales because, by Sunday, all the shit's gone. And so I'll do Sunday only sales. And there was one house that had advertised toys from the 80s. So I was like, oh, I'll go there. So I got there and they were open, all set up. And dude had a bunch of like He-Man, G.I. Joe, fucking all that shit. And so I go up and I'm like, oh, how much are your action figures? He's like, oh, they're all different prices. It really depends. If you want everything, it's $100. I was like, for everything? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'll do that. And I think like anytime you say something like too quickly, I think they regret it. So he was like, yeah, I said it. So I guess we'll do $100. And so this dude, I had like the Snake Mountain. I can't think of the other fucking thing right now. Castle Grayskull. So there was like those two sets, Ghostbusters. So I listed the Ghostbusters thing online on Facebook because it's bigger and I don't feel like shipping it. I think you could break it down, but we'll see if I can sell it local. And a bunch of like G.I. Joes, fucking Micro Machines, like all types of shit. So $100. And I sold. The reason that I was coming to this is because I was going through my sold stuff. And so I sold an empty box. I wish this stuff was in there, but it was a vintage Kenner Star Wars Empire Strikes Back Hoth Wampa. So it was like the box only, yeah. And I sold it for $65. So that was pretty dope. Some Toy Story dolls I sold for $40. I got those for $2, $1 each. So that's pretty dope. I've already started selling some Halloween stuff. I sold a Michael Myers costume that I got in a bulk buy that's been paid for. Some Spider-Man figures. I sold some ICP. I sold the Big Money Hustlers ICP DVD, and then right after that, I sold it to a different person, which is crazy. An Insane Clown Posse, like Carnival Prize. I've got a bunch of these things, and I just keep putting one out at a time. This one sold instantly, so I put up another one, and it's still up there. But once that one sells, I think I have like two more. I have a Limp Bizkit one that I need to list too. But those things I bought for like $20. They've been slow moving, but they sell for 10 to 15 to $20 depending on what they are. I'll go back a little bit, but I think that's it. I mean, I'm pretty much at an hour right now. It's like 58 minutes. I did it. That was crazy that I just told that whole story. I thought that story was going to take a lot longer. I was like, oh, that definitely just pushed. I thought I was at like an hour 10. I'm like, damn, what am I going to do that I'm like pushing an hour 10? But yeah, then I sold a Pokemon Ruby. So I've sold 2 Pokemon Rubies in the past couple weeks. Both of them had the dry battery, but they save. So I wish I had known that they save, because I didn't realize that they save. I have a copy of Ruby that I kept because I'm like, oh, it doesn't save, so I'll just keep it for myself. And then I found out that it does save, but even with the dry battery, it sells for like $65. So that was part of those video game buys. I made my money back really quick on those video games, which I usually do. Sold some silver. I got that silver. It was like I paid $20 for this big thing because I was going through it, and the lady was like, I'll give you the whole thing for $20. And I'd already found some sterling, so I pulled that out. It was like all from the same set. So it was like a set of 10, or it wasn't the full set, but it was like a lot of 10. It sold for $175. So I spent like $100 total at that yard sale. that was a small portion of it. And I got like I got this Barbie set and these Barbie clothes. The first outfit I looked up is like $140 outfit for the Barbie stuff. So that I was pleasantly surprised. I've been learning a little bit more about the Barbie clothes. I don't like to sell the shit until I'm like positive I know what the deal is. So I give myself a little bit of an education, watch some YouTube shit. And then, yeah, once I feel comfortable, I'll sell it so I don't get fucking somebody mad at me. Game Boy Advance Video, Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. So I know Shrek 1 goes for a little bit more. I probably could have sold them individually, but the Shrek 1 had like a little bit of wear, or like, I don't even know what it was. It was like some type of, it was like white on the back. I don't know. I couldn't get it off. So it kind of brought the value down. So I sold them as a bundle for $75. That was from that same guy. So, and then yeah, I sold it. He had another like Pokemon set. So yeah, it's been good. It's been picking up, and anytime I'm spending less than I'm making, I'm always, spending less than I'm making. Because like, during the summer I'm spending and I'm not making because I'm busy spending. But now that I have my area, kind of like I feel less overwhelmed. So I'm kind of glad that I took the day to do that, and I've just got another like probably day's worth of work. So next day my wife is off, but we were all fucked up this week because she was supposed to work one day, or she didn't think she was, or yeah, she thought she was working one day. She showed up and they were like, "You're not supposed to be here till Friday," so it kind of threw us off because we were gonna get some shit done, and it just kind of threw everything for a loop. So it is what it is. And now, I'm about to finish up this hour fucking podcast. Over an hour now, officially. It still feels like it should. It still feels like it should be like an hour 10. It's only like an hour and 2 minutes. All right, I'm gonna finish up. I'll be back again next week, and I don't have a cool catchphrase to go out on, but I guess. I did want to say one more thing, because a few weeks ago or a few episodes ago, I don't think I ever gave a follow up. So I was bitching about the honey badger, and I apologize because it's my favorite fucking thing ever. So I love the honey badger, and I would love to get more honey badger stuff for free. Honey badger, maybe not. Anyway, all right. Good luck out there. Hope you find a lot of shit, and don't let fucking punk resellers try to take advantage of you. If they try to say some shit about what you're buying, fucking say some shit back. Do it for me.